Welcome, gathered friends, and thank you for joining us once again as we light the lantern and begin another adventure. Tonight we're playing Era of the Dragons, our D&D homebrew world. My name is Archangelic, or Mal, and my pronouns are she, her, and tonight I'm going to be your game master. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. We'll start with you, Silver.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as over on YouTube. And I will be playing Fenxiris Roxalar, a gem dragonborn cleric / rogue. She uses she, her pronouns. I use he, they pronouns.
Levi.
Hello, I am Levi, and tonight I shall be playing Torsten Pinewalker, the half-elf armor artificer. We both use he, they pronouns.
And Jaden.
Hello, friends. My name is Soliloquy, or Jaden. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me most places online as FatSapphicBro. I'll be playing the tiefling barbarian named Grief. Grief uses he, they pronouns and also uses a combat wheelchair. I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user, IRL, so I like to use that in the game. The combat wheelchair is designed by Mark Thompson, who you can find on Twitter at the username MustangsArt, and the info is linked in the chat. You may have noticed that our dear Merlin is not here today, but he will be back with us when he is able to be. Welcome back to our space here at Lantern Light Adventures. This is home to all of our TTRPG and related content on Twitch. All of our games are also uploaded to our Lantern Light Adventures YouTube channel. There's a link to our link tree in the chat. You can click on that. It'll take you to all of our various social media pages so you can follow us everywhere we are. If you want to keep up to date on everything we're doing, feel free to also join our Discord, which is linked in the chat. Thanks for joining us for Era of the Dragons. This is our D&D 5e actual play set in Mal's homebrew world. We stream this game most Sundays from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. PST. As for where you can find us the rest of the week, most Mondays from 6 to 9 p.m. PST, we stream It Waits for No One, a modern fantasy tale. This is our Monte Cook Games Cypher System actual play. We collaboratively built the world together using I'm Sorry Did You Say Street Magic, and that world building session will be a Patreon exclusive. Most Tuesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. PST, we stream An Empty Dream. That's our Girl by Moonlight actual play. We also record an audio cast after show for each of our games where we go over any necessary advancement steps and debrief from the game. You can listen to these for free on our Patreon at patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. All of these after shows will always be free, but we appreciate any contributions and support as it helps us continue to bring you awesome queer content. Speaking of Patreon, if you're not a paid patron, please consider signing up. Our lowest tier starts at $1. It'll unlock all of our Patreon exclusive content, including the world building session for It Waits for No One, a modern fantasy tale. Just as a reminder, each month we take the last 7 days of the month off so that we can edit and prepare more content for y'all, as well as have a bit of a break to handle our day-to-day responsibilities. And finally, in support of A Free Palestine, we'll be sharing the GoFundMes for various families. The first family we are trying to help is the Masood family. Dahlia and her husband Rami and their 4 children are in great need. Dahlia and Rami worked as pharmacists, but they have since lost their home and their pharmacy. Their goal is currently set to 50,000 euros, and they have raised 38,988 euros as of this afternoon. Any help and support you can offer would be amazing. Their GoFundMe is linked in the chat and is also on our link tree. Thanks so much, friends.
All right. Thank you for those announcements. I guess we'll get right into it. We look back for a moment to what you didn't see on the Flying Fortress. You all hastily made your exit from the Wyvern stables as Billy Bob Bones told you to run. Billy stands, dropping the blanket he had been using to shield you all from the gaunt truth of his current state. He dons his hat, feather bouncing back to life. The battering ram at the door breaks through, and cultists flood into the stables. A dwarven man, clothed in white leather armor, enters the space, meeting the eyes of Billy. An icy crown on his head gleams in contrast with his dark hair. Billy gives a soft chuckle with what little energy he has. Baradin Stoneaxe. I should have known one day that I would have to kill you. Sir Bones, I should have known you would remain an idealistic fool. Where are your friends, you noble blowhard? Billy calmly holds the pommel of his rapier. They are going to live to fight another day, to do good in this world. I once gave you the same chance the day I crushed your master's head against the rocky shore. I could not bear to let a slaver live, but a young dwarf who lost his way? I couldn't help myself, but I see now how mistaken I was all those years ago. Baradin raises his hands, cold, blue, white magic flowing from them. The crown glows. The dwarf's breath becomes icy. Your noble endeavors were always going to get you killed, Sir Bones. Billy draws his blade. Ice cracks. Wind howling. Steel clatters. There are footsteps, thuds, scuffle, blood. You are on the side of the mountain. In the distance, you watch as the massive flying fortress collides with a distant mountain, raining down rocks and blasting snow into the air. The giantess Eastrid flying away from the ruin left below. Billy lays at rest, words said to the fallen hero. You're here now and recouping. The journey is not over, and there is much to be done. As you sit here in the snow and cold, a chance to make camp, Elric will start a fire. You're probably not going to go anywhere tonight. Darkness is quickly descending through this valley you find yourself in. What do you do?
Ben is gonna go over to Elric. And quietly is going to say, Elric, I don't know if you remember this. Happened, I don't know, months ago now, down in the Underdark. But you don't know if there's any, cures for lycanthropy, do you?
He thinks to himself, he says, I mean, yeah, I've heard of them. I know there's some groups of clerics and paladins that work with that kind of disease or curse, depending on how you look at it. It's not in my wheelhouse exactly. I am supposed to arm the holy warriors and keep them safe in battle. My duty is to the forge, not to healing the sick after.
For sure. And I don't even know if grief might not feel like it's a curse at all. If you know of anyone that has that ability, I don't want to say anything to grief, just in case maybe there is no hope for them giving this up, but I don't even want to propose it if it's just gonna be hurt more for grief to think about it. And again, this would do obviously it's grief's choice, because it could be viewed as a gift. I don't even know, but
Yeah.
I'd love to give them the option if it exists.
There's a whole clan of people that embrace their lycanthropy. They don't. Some of their number are not too far south from here.
Okay.
There's people who do it all kinds of ways. I mean, but also some lycanthropy is objectively worse than others. And you're saying that...
I just started picturing a were-slug, by the way.
No.
So slow. So angry.
Yeah.
And of course, Fen will just say, yes, there's much worse and much better were versions.
Yeah, I wasn't with you. Elric wasn't with you when you went to the Underdark at that point.
Was he not? I thought he made it all the way to... Yeah. He fell with us in the car.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I believe you.
He helped us mong cheeses.
Yeah. Excellent. So, he says, "Oh yeah, they do turn into a bear. I mean, a bear is not that bad."
I mean, Grief has been very kind to us when in bear form and in werebear form as well. I'm just before y'all caught up with us here, we fought a pair of polar werebears that were just absolutely angry and beyond reason, apparently. Because Grief tried to talk with them. I remember that. They just would not respond.
We crossed paths with them as well. I think the Restoration was using them as perimeter guards.
You know, that makes sense.
I don't think it was a lycanthropy that drove them that mad. I think there's a lot you can do to a person to break them. Force them to give in to those instincts.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, Elric, it sounds like you know these things. So I can talk with Grief if you want, or since you know about them at least a little bit, maybe you could talk to Grief about options. I don't know. Again, like I haven't really talked with Grief about this at all, honestly, since it happened. It's just been the random bear in the room.
Elric will take a moment from building this fire. He will, as you're telling this, like, hey, like, talk to Grief about it, he grabs your arm gently and says, when Grief is ready to ask about something, they'll ask about it. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just... I knew what I was doing for the last several months, even though it was frightening. There was a path that entire time, and now I'm kind of lost.
Feels like the rug's been pulled out from under us, huh?
A little bit. Which is weird, because like we just did something to really set them back, and that should feel good, and it's hollow.
Victories. Victories are complicated. Victories are things that kings and politicians get to celebrate. We see the truth that went into that. Kessa always told me that we keep soldiers safe in war, but war is not something to glorify. And that it's a blessing to make nails and horseshoes, because that means you're not having to make swords and worried about where the blood is going to go on a weapon. Sometimes we have to fight, and fight we did, and we're going to fight more. But war is a tragedy.
Yeah, it's hard. It's until you see it, you don't really understand that, but it's true.
We're in it. We can't look away now. You will, he has a pot of water boiling over the fire. He pours some in a cup to just drink some warm water and feel warm. He hands you a cup and he says, to one day making horseshoes again.
The horseshoes.
And he'll sip on the water. I know you want to look out for your friends, Fen, but give them time to... I think we all just need to take a minute, get some sleep, go somewhere where we can find answers, and maybe save some lives.
Yeah. But first, we should probably get some rest. Oh.
Yeah.
I am absolutely drained. I don't know how you're feeling.
He says, I've been better, but I think I'm gonna tend the fire for now.
Who wants first watch tonight?
I'm good to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can take second.
And Torsten will run it off then.
Elric will take first watch with Grief. Merlin has stepped away from the camp and is contemplating and reading his spell book in solitude at the moment. But you all will eventually settle down to rest. Grief, you have first watch. Elric keeps building the fire using he'll sometimes just cast a cantrip to keep it alight, add more heat to it. from the little bit of kindling that he has. There's not much on this mountainside. He's trying to keep it going as warm as he can magically.
I think as far as the watch goes, I'm just gonna quietly do my watch. Once my watch is over, I'll wake up Fen. And I will take some time solo, I think, in my own little area when I am supposed to be asleep. So if you want to wait for that, that's totally fine.
Okay, yeah. I think, go ahead and give me a perception check as you take your watch.
$21, no net.
In the distance, you see something flying in the sky. It glints like a star. With the 21, you see that you think it's a dragon, the flight pattern and everything, but it's not the brilliant white that you've seen of the dragon you fought, and is much larger than the dragon you fought. But it's off in the distance. It does not draw towards you.
Okay. I think I'll just pass that along just to Fen, so at least she's, got that. Yeah, I'll come wake you up. Hey, Fen.
Yeah. Hey.
You're up. There was something off in the distance. Looked like it might have been a dragon, bigger than the one that we fought, but it didn't look like it was sticking around. It was pretty far out, so. But I just want to give you a heads up just in case.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Okay, get some rest. You were amazing out there today.
You too, friend. Let me know if you need anything.
No, we'll do.
And I'll go over to my little area.
Okay. You go to your tent that you've set up here. It at least keeps out the wind. It's still cold. You keep one side, you set it up to face one side towards the fire to get as much heat as you could, but it's comfortable at least, and that's all you can ask for right now.
And I think kind of get settled in a little bit. I'll pull out the journal that I've been keeping, and I will attempt to not sob through this. And I'm gonna write out some stuff. So the first thing that I write out is Tempest, my dearest Peach. It's been about 8 months since you and our little dumpling Cherish have left this realm. I am told by the god of death that you both may in fact be alive still. I am told by the god of death. What a statement. I'm unsure what this all means, but I will never stop searching for you. I've gotten off the path with Afe to try and magic my way back to you, or your way back to me. I will do whatever it takes, but right now there's quite a large problem I'm dealing with. I've helped to make a deal with a giant. We're fighting dragons and a cult dedicated to them. It'll be quite the story to tell you when we are reunited, assuming I survive. Tonight I lost a dear friend. He died in our battle, being a hero. I had to leave him, knowing full well he would not survive. I'm not sure what that says about me as a person, that I would leave someone I care for when they needed me most. Perhaps I am repeating my failures. I mean, I did let you and Cherish die or be taken. I still don't know what exactly happened to you two. The memories are both distinctly vivid and horribly hazy. It was my job to protect you, and I failed. I continue to worry about how you will cope with the reality of my life now, if I manage to get you back. Things are so different now. I predominantly use a wheelchair. I'm in pain constantly. I am tormented by nightmares of that day. I don't know how you will feel about being with such a broken person. But if I just had you and Cherish back, that would be whole enough for me. I was bitten by a werebear, so, there's that too. It at least makes me super strong. We'll see how it all unfolds. It's still a little bit new. Gods, I miss you. I long to hold you once more. I would give anything to be with you and Cherish now. I'd build a time machine to find you both. One way or another, I will see you again. That's a promise. Even if I have to end my life to get to you. I love you from here to eternity. Your pumpkin. Grief. I long for the day that my true name can return to me. But for now. Whew. And then I'll turn to a different section that's for Cherish. My littlest dumpling. Your papai has been on a grand adventure since you've been away with Mama. Soon you will be turning 5 years old, and I very much hope I am with you for that celebration. You'll never believe the monsters I've had to fight. I got swallowed by a giant worm. I managed to get out of the worm with the help of some new friends. Those friends and I also helped out a baby dragon. Well, it's been a very busy couple of months. I am including some drawings of the big worm, the baby dragon, and some owlbears I also befriended. I've really begun to find a deeper connection to animals lately. They are quite magnificent. I much prefer to make friends with them than fight them. I want you to know that you do not leave my heart at any point. I carry you with me always. I know that one day we will be reunited. I promise I will find my way back to you somehow. For now, I hope you and your mama are together and okay. We'll all be back together soon, Dumpling. Hold tight. Love, Papai. And then I think that I will put that away. And I likely will not be able to fall asleep. But I will try to lay down and rest my body at least.
Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Non-nat.
You're fine. You're used to the restlessness. The elements don't seem to bother you too much. You're dry, relatively warm and comfortable tonight. So no exhaustion takes hold of you. But you do not gain the benefits of a long rest tonight.
Just above the table, that means I only have one rage.
Oh boy.
But yeah, we come to our second watch.
Right. Finn is definitely doing her best to pay attention, but also depending on how this roll goes. She's also, I mean, she's an archaeologist. She's kind of drawing out the new ruins of the flying fortress that she can remember during this time, and she's also kind of creating a very, very basic map. She's no cartographer. She's got the tools for it, but she's she's an amateur cartographer. And she's trying to draw that out, but also she's multitasking because she knows she's supposed to be paying attention to the watch.
Absolutely.
If you want to, I can disadvantage this perception check.
No, I like this. I want to take this opportunity. You are an archaeologist. You you may not be an artist, TM, but you are trained. You learned how to sketch a terrain so that people could navigate it. I don't see any reason why you couldn't make this roll. Just, it'll be proficiency. I'd say it could be intelligence if you wanted, but if you wanted to do charisma as like a performance to see how good it looks.
Intelligence is better for me.
Yeah. So intelligence plus proficiency for your cartographer's tools.
Sounds good. Hmm? Oof. So that would be 11.
11. You get the gist of it. You lay out the terrain. You have the relative distances. You don't capture the details you want. And Elric at this point, who is like trying very hard to keep everyone warm, he's kind of fallen asleep. He is like kind of tied his sleeping bag around himself, but he was sitting up and has kind of slid over onto you as he has fallen asleep, which makes it a little hard to draw the fine details.
I think there's a moment where Fen doesn't realize why Elric is slumping on her. And she's just like, what in the... Oh. And she'll help lower him into a more comfortable sleeping position and like make sure Elric is well covered to guard against the cold night air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of do that. Like, he kind of stirs and he says, sorry, and then, like, will cast his cantrip to bring the flame a little higher and then go back to sleep.
Sleep well.
But, your watch comes to an end as the stunningly clear night is above you. You see the dance of the ribbon, as they call it, across the sky here. The ever-present sign of the goddess Agilise, whose worshippers you saw giving offerings, but you sit here and you can feel in this otherwise lightless landscape why they would worship it, why why it deserves their time and attention, as the ground around you is lit up by this divine gift.
Guess I stole something from Torsten by not letting him have second watch. That's amazing. Well, I don't think anything's going on. I should wake up Torsten. Torsten, Grief told me about a dragon during first watch that far in the distance, but just keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, Torsten, who was like basically awake when you find him, is like, all right, I'll be sure to do that. Thank you. Anything else?
And then Fenn's going to go and, for warmth's sake, is going to go lay down next to Elric.
Yeah, Torsten is going to just post up on a rock somewhere where he has some decent visibility And then he's gonna start like unhook a one of his bracers, grab a couple of his like a simple one-line braiding iron, put in the fire and start like just working on it. And the entire time he's just like talking to himself like, okay, if we did like going through the like siege of the fortress, trying to like, okay, what could we have done differently? How could things have ended up better? Like, he'll go down one path, no, go my path, no, and then the entire time start like pressing a rune into the right bracer, and then once the metal cools, he'll start like blow it off and put it on, and he'll just like flick his wrists, and a bolt of fire will hit the campfire. As he kind of looks between the work and just out up towards the skies for any potential threats.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Perception. That is a slick 10.
Okay. You look out. You can see in the distance, in the faintness of the moonlight and the ribbon above, that's now beginning to fade as dawn approaches. You don't see much, but like I said, dawn is approaching. The light begins to filter in over the landscape as you are taking the last watch. And you can see the side of the mountain, and just where these mountains are dressed in white, there is a scar left in the side of this mountain. You can still see large pieces of this fortress scattered on the side, as if someone had just dropped it there, as if it was something discarded. It seems small and insignificant from your little vantage point here.
Torsten will look out, kind of admire the sunrise and the way the shadows kind of hit the shadows of the ruins, kind of warp against the ground. It's like, feels like I stole something from the others by going last. They'll put some coffee on, start waking people up.
Yeah, you start waking people up, and it is a calm morning. You can see down on the ridge below that there is a herd of elk coming through, rummaging through the snow to dig up any bits of plants they can find. The last bit of plants they'll probably be able to find for a while, as they are making their way to warmer weather. The sun is bright orange. The sky is an incredibly bright blue. There's barely any clouds above. Merlin will come to you in the morning. So, we have quite the fight in front of us. And I think we will need the help of wizards like Magus Larry. I'm going to gather those I can.
Well then, it's good to know. Thank you for. You're out there for quite a while. Were you okay?
I'm fine. It's good for my skin.
Yeah, I'm definitely agreeing with you on the point that we're gonna need all the help we can get. So, yeah, if there are resources you could pull on, people you could talk to, by all means. I'm sure you have a way of getting in touch with us whenever you need to meet back up.
Keep yourself safe. Get in contact if you need to.
I will do so. Thank you, friends. And I hope to journey with you again. And I hope to see you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon, Merlin.
He will almost juggle the staff in an intricate pattern, and a door will open up. And he will step through and teleport away.
Well.
I'm so convinced they were just going to walk to town.
He's a funky little dude. I like him.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not exactly sure where town is at this point.
Ugh. Town. Do we know which direction town is?
You, Elric, well, I mean, you would have to, you don't know precisely where you are. You know which way is, you know the general cardinal directions. That was pretty easy to suss out at night. The star that they call the goddess Rhea, the torch in the night, lights the way eastward, always. So you do know the directions at the very least.
Right. Well, head back to town, and then what are we thinking from there? What's our next step, y'all?
Well, we're gonna have to tell someone about the deal we made with the giants.
I don't know what shape he's in at this point, but our friend amongst the elves should probably know what's going on if he's still alive. That's gonna be days from now. Possibly weeks.
Elric, at this point, he has gone through his morning ritual of part of his preparation and worship is in the cleaning of his armor and swords that he does every morning. Very almost meditative practice, and he is finishing it up, buckling the last bit of armor onto himself. And he says, we're talking about Rami, right?
Yeah.
Sir Bones told me about him. Told me to go to Versailles if I ever needed anything and ask for him, but so far Vosna hasn't been hit too hard by the restoration, but they have a bigger, much more organized military. It's a bigger target for an outfit like the restoration.
also better equipped to deal a response.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think we can. You're right. It's going to be a while to get back to Versailles unless we can find someone who can magic us there.
Yeah. I mean, we could check in town. Maybe somebody has that ability. If not, then we know a Union ship that could get us back.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the way to go, huh? Yeah. Oh, the nearest town, Winter's Keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hey, when you came in, you had to ride in those gondolas, right?
The gondola. Oh, we didn't come that way.
Oh.
We didn't come from the coast. We walked from Zarkan. We had been on quite the journey.
Walked? Wow.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we caught rides. Sometimes we had horses, but yeah. I mean, everything's gone to shit. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's head to Winter's Keep though, and see if we can find some passage back.
Don't have a lot of daylight to burn, so let's start up.
Yeah, let's get going.
all right. You begin to walk to Winter's Keep. Go ahead and give me someone can give me a survival check at advantage. Whoever you think has the highest.
Question mark. I actually have a decent survival.
Oh, holy cow. Elric has a +5 survival.
I'm up at +6.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Torsten's matching me, so Torsten, I'll let you take it.
Ready. Please let me do this. There we go. Advantage roll. That is a natural 20 for a 26.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, advantage.
You've been keeping up with your relative location. Honestly, with the kind of mind I think Torsten has, like, you probably sat and figured out based on the stars where generally you were compared to where you had been.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily make your way back to Winter's Keep. It's going to take you most of the day with this terrain. You didn't end up flying very far in the fortress. It didn't seem to move very fast. It was probably going to be a long journey, but it had taken you the fortress itself, when it took off, was a little bit northeast of Winter's Keep. A day and a half travel northeast. And it had been going on a southeasterly trajectory.
Mm.
You could reasonably draw a line and figure out, possible points it would hit. But because you know all this information, you know generally the heading to get back to Winter's Keep. And it's, yeah, like I said, it's going to take you most of the day in this terrain, but you walk through the snow and the rocks back down into, you're only in the foothills of the mountain. It feels like mountainside. It's high enough that you are above the tree line, but there are more profound mountains to the east of you for sure. So it's pretty gentle of a slope down. You can find pathways, and you make your way back into the small town of Winter's Keep. And as we come to Winter's Keep, you see that there is some sort of loud discussion amongst the people there. They are gathered around a center point in the town square, discussing something loudly. And I think before we get into that, we should go ahead and take our break. So we will be back in 10 to 15 minutes. We hope to see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good little break. We now join our heroes back as they have climbed down from the mountain back to the tiny village and kind of capital of the northern reach of Winter's Keep. You can see what now feels puny and small, the little keep in the distance. But there is a commotion in the center of the village. It seems that there's not many people in this town, maybe 20 or 30, like are here regularly, and they're all outside right now.
Well, I'm sure you could never guess this, but we would like to look at the commotion, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me how you're going to approach and what you want to determine.
I feel like just casually walking up to see what's going on.
Okay.
Fenn's gonna take that, like, her rogue instincts kick in, and she's gonna stealth her way to the nearest building.
Okay.
So that she can be as close as possible while not being seen.
Okay.
Torsten will stay close to Grief, but will also keep a healthy distance just in case.
Okay. Yeah. So Fen, give me your stealth check.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a 25 total.
Oh, yeah. No one's gonna see you. You slink away into the shadows.
I am the night.
Yeah, so you the rest of you approach the outer edge of this crowd. You see that Cask, the this Goliath that runs the Bearskin, the one kind of tavern in town. She's just kind of like standing and looking on the edge of the crowd with the rest of you.
What's going on?
She's, oh shit, y'all are alive?
So far. Last I checked. Most of us anyway.
Okay. That's cool. You need a place to stay? Or wait, no, you asked what was going on.
Yeah.
She says, freaking, oh, what's his name? I had his name in my head and then promptly forgot it. A wood deer, the throne protector or whatever he is, he's back. And people are not the happiest with him being absent. When we saw a massive castle fly over the town or nearby. Also, there was a dragon around. We heard about that later. Some of the trappers down in the lower ravines found it washed up. So either there's probably some bigger dragon or something that's killing dragons out there too. And he's not here, and the high priestess is giving him an earful about it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Fen, you can get up much closer to what is going on. There is Counselor Dirk, the kind of shifty old the one who spoke for Whitdeer when he was absent. You spoke to him briefly. He is standing in front of the high priestess. Her name is High Priestess Camille. She is in her full regalia. She is a worshiper of the Queen of the Ribbon, Agilise. So she is in her full like gauzy cloth, the full headdress, and she says, she is yelling, "Who is going to protect us when it comes down to it? Why are we propping you up when you go off to do whatever it is you do to live your life of leisure?" And Dirk is saying, "Camille, please calm down. We do not need this right now." Atwadir is he looks like he's over this. Dirk keeps speaking for him. Every time he tries to speak up, Dirk like will kind of like almost swat at him to be quiet. And this is just going on and on. Dirk is not answering questions. He is, but the crowd will also not move for them to continue on. It seems that Wadir has, he's holding some like pelts and things that he has gotten from his hunt, which he is coming back from.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull some deception right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna get up in Dirk's head real quick. But I'm gonna try to make it sound like it is crowd noise.
Okay.
Hearing that Dirk is answering for everything for Owit at every turn, I'm gonna try to distract him by shouting a bunch of things in his head. "We need a real leader. What is going on? Somebody tell us what's happened." And just like constant so that he can't answer the high priestess.
Okay. Yeah, give me deception. Yeah, that'll work for me.
Well, that was a 10.
Okay. Well, with a 10, you definitely shake him a little bit. With the amount of noise, actually, there's a few people who are close who are also kind of joining in with Camille, the priestess. But she is by far the loudest amongst them, and you definitely see that like he winces and he's looking around. He will not see you. But he knows something was weird about that. At least he doesn't quite know what it is yet, but you definitely clock it right away. And he says, "Let the Lord Protector hold on one moment. Let the custodian, he's the custodian of Winter's Keep, let him take his rest. He will prepare a statement to talk to all of you. He has very important duties. In fact, we are in preparations to go back to Rusea to report what has been going on here."
Sure, the custodian will prepare that statement. Sure, Dirk. Again, just in his head, not shouting it out.
Okay. So no one else in the crowd can hear this and back it up. Okay. Camille says, Camille will she towers over this human man as a Goliath herself. And so she says, "It's better be prompt then. I have a ceremony to conduct tonight. I would like to know how the good custodian," and she kind of jokingly bows slightly, how the good custodian is going to protect us and our way of life here. And Derek will say, Yes, of course. It will happen before. Just let us through. And she will actually give a deep bow and like allow them to pass through. The crowd seems to part behind her as most of the people here are fellow worshippers and seem to have reverence for her position in this place.
Amongst all the people, are we seeing any? Because so Fen is thinking about the fact that the most of the cult did not get on the Flying Fortress. Are we seeing any of those members?
Give me a perception check.
Should we all be rolling that?
Oh,
Yeah, you can all roll it. Mm-hmm.
Good, because that was a 5. Wait, maybe a 6 now. Hang on, let me check.
19.
Yes, 6.
Okay. You said 19.
Yeah.
Much better.
21.
Okay. Oddly, you do not see cultists here. Notably, like, yeah, you don't see, or at least you don't see anyone you recognize from the encampment. Hard to say why without you knowing what happened after you left, but you do not see them here, at least.
As things start to disperse, Torsten will say to Grief, enough familiar faces. They probably knew better than to circle back.
Yeah, for sure. Does make me wonder where they all are, though.
Ask will turn to you two, and she will say, I just got in a good shipment of jerky. Has some spices directly from Southern Reach. Can't get a hold of those very easily, so been working on that for a little while. Talking to some of the trappers here. You want to be my first customers?
I could refuse.
Fen pops up next to her and says, I'm game.
Oh,
absolutely.
Where did you come from?
Oh, yeah. You get
I was
used
just
to
on the
that.
other side of the building there. It was,
Well, it looks over you and like at the belt. Why were you over there?
Oh, I thought I saw a puppy. Sorry.
Oh, completely understand. And she will walk back over to the bearskin. Hoping that you will follow, of course.
Sorry.
Yeah,
naturally, yeah.
I accidentally hit my hot corner, so my screensaver came up. Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go back in, and people are starting to filter back in. You see that some people are returning to the plates that they left whenever the commotion started happening.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, she kind of sees the look of like the way you're looking at this, and she says, "Oh yeah, we don't get that much excitement out here." But if you ask me, and I don't think you are asking me, but I'm going to tell you anyway, Camille would be a much better leader than that little guy.
Are there elections for custodian? How does custodian work?
Oh man. Not long ago, like what was it, 25 years ago, 20, 25, somewhere in there. We used to have a lord. He didn't have any sons though. And it's just one of those things. It's like, the line of succession, you just gotta get used to. That's the leader. But he was holding a bunch of different tribes together. And once he died and there was no heir, they all started just squabbling with each other.
Oh.
Awadir is from a small band of humans south of here, but their clans consider pretty non-threatening. So they're like, hey, the oldest son of the leader of that clan can become custodian until we figure it out. And then no one did.
Mm.
So, and then Iceport is now off doing its own thing. They have their own independent thing going on. Most of the other bands, it's all kind of just whoever's wherever they are. That's who's ruling you at the moment. A lot of nomadic groups out here. And they all show up when it's time to pick a leader, and they all squabble, and then they all go their own way, not solving anything.
What place are we in again? Sorry, I
Um,
didn't sleep well last night.
Winter's Keep.
Just keep. Thank you.
Yeah, speaking of keeps, I think when I was looking for the puppy, I think I overheard you a little bit. Did you say that there was something that there was a fortress in the sky?
Oh yeah, a freaking castle, like a big ass castle. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that.
In the sky?
Yeah, castles in the sky. Yeah,
Damn.
there might be giants in the sky. There must be giants in that castle in the sky.
Right. Hey,
Yeah.
something that big. Yeah. Who else could be in there?
My guess would be some sort of particle man. But anyway.
Did y'all find what you were looking for?
Yeah, we got
Oh
that.
boy, did we!
She's like pouring you ales and everything while talking to you about this. Like, she hasn't asked you for a coin or anything. She is clearly just plying you for gossip.
Jerky, I was promised jerky.
Jerky, and she will go and she will unroll this cloth that it has been kept in to keep it dry, and she'll pull you off they're like big old slabs of jerky, and well, not that they're thin, but it's a big old piece.
Just in Grief and Torsten's and Elric's heads of just how much do you we trust Cask, right? Or no? Oh, Elric, you haven't met Cask until now.
No, I haven't.
Torsten, Grief. How much do we trust Cask?
We trust her a little bit, but we don't trust everybody else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
and I don't know how gossipy she'll get.
Cask is the one who did confirm that it was the cult to go through. She just completely volunteered it to you. So
yeah,
I remember that. That's what I was thinking.
Indeed. In the meantime, I'm going to take a piece of jerky.
Go for it.
And make it look like we're not talking to each other in our heads.
Yeah. Cask, did you let us know about the group that was that headed north past your town and kind of disrupted things over here? Have you seen any of them come back? I have a strong feeling like this whole flying castle business had something to do with them.
She says, I haven't seen any of them come back. I only saw there was only a small band that came through here the first time looking for specifically supplies for cutting down lumber. So was there more of them? Did you find them?
Yeah, we spotted them on the outskirts. We weren't really able to get a hold of them, but we did. we were messing with you a little bit. I'm sorry, Cask. We knew about the flying castle. We saw it in the air. Uh, Pretty sure we saw it crash somewhere. Were you all able to see that from here?
Uh, no. We saw it flying kind of east. But once it crested the mountains, we couldn't really tell anymore.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, if it didn't crash, it hit a mountain real hard and looked the worse for wear for if it didn't crash entirely. So, um, if it was the Colt that was flying it, they kind of stink at flying. Not gonna lie.
I mean, who the heck knows how to fly? Birds, dragons, griffins.
The wings seem like a pretty integral part of the equation.
Yeah, that thing didn't have wings.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, just I do want to give you a heads up because like I don't like we saw cultists on the ground when that thing was flying overhead, and there was a lot of cultists on the ground. I don't know numbers comparison, but they'll probably come back through here. So just be aware of that.
She's gonna move another piece of jerky towards you. She says, "Was there a giant?"
Okay, but is the jerky good?
It is good. It is like peppercorn crusted and
Nice.
well spiced. It has like a almost soy sauce flavor to it. It's
Fantastic.
Nice. Amazing.
Good jerky, by the way.
The important questions.
Hey, I mean, what I can tell you, like that fortress. I mean, we didn't up close-ish. It looked pretty like it looked like I it was a giant's fortress. Like I don't know why they built it. I don't know if you all explored, but like that you get somewhat close to it. It was huge. Clearly that was from a time long ago when giants still were here.
So if a giant wasn't involved, there had to have been some pretty high pay grade scholars. One of the two.
Okay. You said you're pretty sure it crashed though?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you see that like you notice that like she has like the pad that she like writes down things like orders and stuff on, and she's just writing, scribbling furiously about this fortress that has crashed. This is like giant fortress they didn't know existed.
And something washed up, you said?
Yeah, some of the trappers that they were pulling their traps out. It's almost winter, everything's about to freeze up. Found a body of a white dragon washed up.
I'm losing track of things. Were you telling us about somebody was telling us about a white dragon flying around out here? I wonder if it's the same one.
There's a couple we saw a white dragon. We've seen signs of white dragons around. There's also there's a silver dragon that we've spotted the last couple of nights. If that white dragon died, that leaves room for another dragon to move in. It's
Huh.
I mean, I don't know much, but I've been told that silver dragons aren't as chaotic as white dragons. So hopefully that's the custodian's problem.
Yeah.
If anyone's problem. Ideally, no one's problem.
Ideally, yeah, we'll be left alone by a dragon, but yeah. It's dragons aren't much better than people most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing I happened to notice it out of the corner of my eye as it was flying by, that the fortress seemed to be leaking, uh, like gold. So, yeah, I mean, there was, and not just gold. I found one of these on the side of the road too. And Finn's gonna pull out one of the gems that she picked up from the horde. So,
Ask's eyes have gone completely wide. Her mouth is slightly opened. She has set down the pad. She moves the entire thing of jerky closer to you all, and she says, I need to go talk to someone. And she's untying her apron and like goes back into the back storeroom or somewhere else in her establishment and leaves you at the bar. You each have like 2 full cups of ale because she never stopped pouring them.
So,
Oh, and some rations now. Sweet.
nice. So, rip off some jerky. The custodian's headed our way. What's our angle there?
Hmm.
I mean, you gotta think the custodian. Well, the guy that controls the custodian, uh, definitely has allowed the cultists to come through here, had some sort of deal with the cultists. I I'm guessing they probably are at least tangentially related to whoever was in charge of the restoration here. So it's it can't be good.
At the very least, they aren't hostile to each other, so proceed with caution.
Yeah.
But we can offer ourselves up as no protection. It's getting colder. Roads are going to get dangerous. There's only the 4 of us, so with just the custodian counts on us 4, travel pretty light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Grief and I met the custodian way back in Brambles
Hmm.
back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if he's gonna remember us, but did meet him. So yeah, we could do something with that. But I mean, like if we do this, we have to keep like eyes on our backs at all times,
Mm.
for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's been about the same as long as I haven't known you two. So
Yeah, fair. I mean, we did immediately end up in a vampire town. That was something.
mm-hmm. Speaking of vampire towns, like long story, uh, and we'll like blaze over the stuff in the town. Tangentially speaking, there's a type of prayer that I've heard different warrior priests do. Are familiar with something that's locally called revivify?
Yeah, I am. That needs diamonds. It
Torsten will like pull out his journal and I think we'll start asking questions and we'll have Elric walk him through the mechanics, the like in-universe mechanics of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He'll explain to you. He says, I don't know the kind of magical particulars, but there's a fee to pull something across that barrier hole, and something divine has an investment in keeping a spirit on the other side. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it becomes. And diamonds, at least in the literature, from a little bit of seminary I remember, and he like he thinks to himself a second. He says, are considered pure. They're considered condensed magic in a way. Condensed what did they call it? Condensed goodwill is what one of my professors called it. But yeah, so you have to pay in goodwill, and it's if they haven't been dead long or have just died, it's we can use a little bit of diamonds, and it's a short ritual. Say a few words, ask for the blessing, and usually they come back. But keeping diamonds on you, super dangerous. Would not recommend it. But if you need to pull somebody who's been dead for a while, you would need more time and more diamonds. So, but that's honestly a little bit of a different ritual. But revivify, I can do. I'm capable of it. I don't really carry around the diamonds to do so. Haven't really had a paycheck in a hot minute.
Tell me about it. Yeah, don't bother with that too much. Let's see, the prayer element's not quite my speed. And then he'll start like sketching a schematic or something.
Yeah.
Once we get to Versailles, I'll need some supplies, but that's a later problem.
Yeah. The most important piece, though, is you can't bring back that which does not want to come back.
Troubling.
The soul gets to decide, and sometimes the gods can also decide. Vergus tends to be a pretty neutral player, from my understanding. I'm not a. This isn't my domain, but some gods. Some spirits serve gods in the afterlife. So you got to talk to the spirit, and there are also things that aren't gods that hold on to spirits.
Well, as long as you focus on arming the soldiers, I can take care of the rest.
Should we perhaps have a diamond on hand in case we need it?
I mean, considering what we're going through, it may be a good idea to start doing that now. If we were in an organized troop, there would be a dedicated person for that. I can, like I said, I can be that person. I am trained in it. It's not my specialty, but
above the table, this whole scene is just me justifying Torsten having revivify.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting that there's a price. Or because this is just what my grandma used to say, but Grandma Roxalar used to always say that the reason that diamonds were so important for that sort of ritual is that only something that was filled with that much pressure could be released to save a soul. Because of the pressure of saving a soul was so great that you needed something of equal pressure.
Ooh. That makes sense to me. I mean, something is special about them, something we don't understand quite. I mean, all then most of us know is that it's the cost of pulling somebody back from the dead.
Yeah, there's for sure.
Hundreds of folk tales about it, but ultimately purity, something that has gone through a purification process, seems to be the common thread. Purity, clarity, the refraction, all of these things seem to be part of it or important.
Yeah.
So we really probably should acquire a diamond, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember Torsten, you have the spell. What is the actual
It's like
cost
above
for
the table. I think it's 1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 gold.
Sounds
500
about
gold piece for revivify, I think.
right. Yeah.
1,000, I think, is for raise dead or something.
Oh, only 300.
Oh yeah, yeah. The one
Okay.
where like if it's a minute revivify, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there is raise dead and then true resurrection. I think are the 3 tiers of this kind of thing.
All right, we've got 1,639 gold in our group pot, our party funds.
Yeah.
So
Elric has a point. Probably don't want to carry around more than one, for sure.
Yeah. In case of emergency.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
Mhm.
you probably need, the size of your group -1 just in case, but
I do have a bag of holding, if that's helpful at all.
You don't need one per because somebody has to cast the spell, and if we're all down, that's game over, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we have a whole different problem. Oh boy, I don't want to think about that one too much. So,
So
I mean,
we're gonna.
we could afford 3 if they're only 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get to somebody that's somewhere that has an actual economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait.
A non-pelt
If-
based economy at
Mhm.
least.
if we pass through Iceport, maybe. Definitely for Saya.
Yeah. And I don't know if we want to like split them up so that not just one of us is carrying them all, but I'm also fine if we want them all to go in the bag of holding, whatever we think, really.
Well, I mean,
The
it
special
should probably be.
lockbox.
As long as we know where it's at, it should be fine to be in a bag of holding. I was gonna say it probably should be with whoever has the ability to do so, but if I think as long as we all know where to access the diamond, that should be
Mm.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, I didn't see any diamonds. Saw a lot of other gems on that hoard, but
Yeah.
no diamonds.
Probably we're picking out the diamonds for the same reason we want them.
Oh, shit. Good point.
That makes sense.
War's
That's grim.
brewing. They're going to have to fight eventually.
And at some point, there'll be people on the field a little too valuable to lose once the higher ups get their hands dirty.
Well, and are they pulling them out for themselves, or are they partially pulling them out to keep them out of our hands?
Well, considering they didn't know y'all were coming, I don't know.
I didn't mean us, literally us. I meant us, like all of everybody. Because
yeah.
I just remembered why Grandma Roxalar had the wisdom of about diamonds is because she used to tell us this children's story. It was about greed, essentially, but it was about this cleric amongst the Dragonborns who had one diamond in his possession, and people kept dying in his town, and he would say, "I could cure them, but I can't. It's too valuable." And at night he would go home and he would look at the diamond and say, "You were for me, only for me." And eventually he passed away. And no one was there to revive him using his diamond. It was a sad story, but it was like about greed and how dangerous it could be.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, this is what happens when greed runs rampant, right? I mean,
Well, I can't fill from an empty cup. Neither can anybody else.
yeah, but
So share whatever water you got.
in this time, Elric has written the non-denominational prayer that goes along with Revivify.
The name here.
Yeah. He's like, you just gotta ask one a being of sufficient power, usually a god. Don't tell the priest that I told you said it that way though.
It's like a Mad Lib.
Yeah.
Name
Insert name
virtue.
of God here. Yeah.
Adjective.
I state your name. Okay.
So yeah, once we get things set up here, talk to the counselor.
I'd say if we all feel safe doing that, we should. I mean, we need to get back, and hey, if we can make some money by protecting someone that also needs to get back, more's the better.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we got to watch our backs, and then the other thing is once we report into Rami, where to from there? What? At, I mean, I guess Rami might have some ideas about where to go from there, but like, is there anything y'all need to do? We've been away from home for so long at this point.
I mean, I've made a couple of improvements to this, and you can all see like runes in a couple of places that weren't there before. So might be good to get the prototype into more hands.
That makes sense.
Need to touch base with Maddie and Samar, wherever the hell they went.
Did they stay at that one location when we left? I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember.
That sounds right.
Yeah, they stay behind to continue production and testing, and with the hope that Torsten, you would come back and report your field findings as well.
There's that.
But they were also incredibly close to Zarkan.
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay. So we definitely want to. I mean, if nothing else, we can work on getting a message out to them, Torsten. If we can find a message service somewhere, if nothing else.
He says, Elric says, I can wait, can I do that? He's thinking to himself and he's looking through the like his little book of prayers. Like he's like, I might have something. And he says, because he might have sending, he just might not have it prepared. Let me double check. He can. He does not have it prepared right now. So he's like, I can send messages to people. I've been so worried about surviving, I kind of forgot about it.
I mean,
I wonder why.
you got to prepare for what life is throwing at you at the time, so that makes sense. Okay, so Torsten wants to reach out to his compatriots. Grief, do you need to check in with your friend in Brambles?
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly.
And I mean,
Okay.
Elric, maybe we just, I don't know, if Rami doesn't have anything for us to do, maybe we swing back to Brambles and see the state of things out there. I don't know if I told you about this, but there's we're gonna need some extra backup, and I mean like just a little extra power in our corner, you know. I think I know the location of another monolith. It's gonna be hard to find, but if we can get there, there might be another font that we can draw on. But I don't want to distract from other things if there's something more important we got going on.
Even if they're a gamble, I'll take whatever allies we can get.
Yeah, and I'm not, there's not a huge press for me to check in on Afe necessarily. She knows that if I'm not back, she knows why. So, and we can always do some like some kind of message or something, send a message out. Yeah, it's really hard to figure out the best places to gather allies.
Yeah.
Man, I'm tired.
As you ponder this and see Cask talking to a small crowd of trappers outside, that is where we're going to end our session. As you are about to make some decisions on where to go next. Excellent session, folks. So excited that we got to do this. So I'm excited to see where y'all are going to go. For now, though, let's go ahead and do our outros. We'll start with you, Silver.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as over on YouTube. Occasionally, we will run an 8:30 p.m. Monday night stream of Capes and Caverns, which is a superhero overlay of Dungeons and Dragons that I wrote. And actually, there is a podcast now that you can hear the first season of Capes and Caverns on. If you go wherever good podcasts are found, just look up Capes and Caverns. And if you're in the more of a theater mood, you can look up All the Web's a Stage, which is a short play podcast. It's on hiatus right now, but there are still 30 plus episodes that you can listen to. So that's me.
Fantastic, Levi.
Hello, I am Levi. You can find me at likethegenes.bluesky.social. You can also find my game design work at levi-phipps.ish.io.
Fantastic, Jaden.
Hey friends, I am Soliloquy or Jaden. You can find me everywhere online as FatSapphicBro. I mostly hang out on TikTok, make a variety of content. Feel free to follow me there. I've also recently begun streaming Animal Crossing New Horizons here on Twitch, and then I'm also uploading it over onto YouTube. So feel free to follow me here and there if you'd like, also under the username FatSapphicBro. As for TTRPG actual play streaming, all the details are in the announcements, but I'm here on Twitch most Sundays, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., most Mondays, 6 to 9 p.m., most Tuesdays, 6 to 9 p.m., all Pacific time, but not the last 7 days of each month. Thanks for hanging out and potentially crying with us.
And I'm Archangelic. You can find me here at all the times Soliloquy said in the announcements. You can find many links for me on my website, archangelic.space, that has all my social links, projects I've worked on, itch page for the one RPG I made, Suburbana, which you can check out. It's a pay what you want, so that's there for you. So I'm also doing professional GMing on startplaying.games. If you're interested in having me GM a game for you, you can book me at startplaying.games/GM/archangelic. Also in our link tree, there is a referral link. I think it gives you $10 towards your session on startplaying.games. So go ahead and give that a shot if you want to, book a game. If you've missed any of our games, you can check them out on YouTube. Link is in the chat, and it's in our link tree and in the channel description. We also have a podcast version of this game. You can search up Era of the Dragons wherever you find good podcasts. We are going to be going into our Patreon supported after show shortly. You can find all of those at patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. The after show will always be free, but your support would mean the world to us. Thank you to our wonderful players for being here. Thank you to our wonderful audience for joining us. And lastly, thank you to our producer, Polygeist, for helping us stream this show. We appreciate you, and we really couldn't do it without you. And as always, folks, we love you, and we hope to see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye.